Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Mic check. We coming live, baby. Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2. Yes, yes. Thank you guys for joining in to another episode of the OtisWho podcast. Before we get started, please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. And also to leave a comment. Talk about how I just completely screwed up the opening of this particular podcast. But it is what it is. But I know what you did see. I know you saw how old boy showed his ass for us the Super Bowl. But before I go even further, I am OtisWho, and let me introduce you to my partner in crime. Of course, say hi to the people, man. Holler at them real quick.
What up, nation? It's your boy Haitian. How y'all doing out there?
Hey.
Yeah.
First of all, how did you enjoy the Super Bowl? Give me your quick recap. Tell me how you enjoyed the Super Bowl.
It was a good game. It could have went either way, honestly.
It was. It really was.
It could have went either way. I mean, all I can say is my homeboy did his thing. Got him down there, and he did his clock management.
First of all, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Was Kansas City your team first and foremost? Well, were you going for the typical bandwagon Kansas City? Let me get that out the way first.
Bandwagon.
Yeah, I'm just hey. Well, did you jump on the bandwagon? I didn't have a dog in the fight.
Look,
so
I've been with Kansas City since the Cardinals was still here.
Right.
Before they moved to Arizona. I was Kansas City then too.
Got you. Okay. I ain't mad at you.
Yeah. In-state team.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to jump right into it. We're going to get straight to our first story. First and foremost, like I said, I'm going to try my best to bring you at least 2 to 3 times a week the stories that I feel are interesting, strange, sometimes thought-provoking, sometimes funny, like the opening video that we saw.
Right.
But with that being said, these first 2 stories I got, again, from Voice of the People, VOTP_news. Please go to their Instagram and subscribe to their channel, and also leave in a comment. Let them know that you getting this information from OtisWho podcast. I appreciate that. But let's get started with this first story. Listen. First and foremost, we need to go back to the days to where, remember that commercial when they had on the news? Well, it came on in the evening and it went something like this, real nice and simple. It is 9 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? Something along those lines. Do you remember that commercial?
Yeah.
We need to go back to that.
Yeah, definitely.
We need to go back to that.
Definitely.
I don't understand what's going on. Now listen, I'm 52 years old. I was a teenager. Yes, I was. I understand what teenagers did. Mm-hmm. I digress. Let's just go to the story. Juveniles escape state youth holding facility. 3 teens are being sought after escaping from a youth facility in North County Monday morning. Juveniles have been escaping holding facilities across the city more easily recently, yet staff members are tight-lipped as into why. This particular escape happened at a state-owned facility located in the 3300 block of Bear Fountain Neighbors. I mean, my fault, Lord, I'm putting words in there. Bear Fountain Road, around 5 a.m. The teams were awaiting trials for recent crimes committed. authorities have not released any description of the teens, nor where they have could have been headed. Okay, two things. One, I don't believe, I could be wrong. The reason they can't give a description of the teens is because I believe they're underage, and I don't believe you could do that for us, put their likeness out there. Like I do believe that. And also, two, they're purposely not, for I believe lawful reasons, legal reasons, not releasing the types of crimes that they have committed to get put in that situation.
Right.
We need to go back to them days where we need to be checking where our kids are in the evening.
Right.
There are lots of teenagers roaming the streets at night, and believe me when I tell you, the parents don't know where they are.
Right.
Not only do they not know where they are, well, I'm not going to go so far as to say they don't care, because I cannot say that. I'm just talking mess. But I can state a proven fact. When 7 or 9 o'clock, let's be real, when 9 o'clock rolls around, you do not know where your children are. You do not. Now, all the other stuff that falls into that, the reason why you don't, that's a whole nother podcast. Right. But for this conversation purposes right now, you couldn't possibly tell me you know where your children are at 9 o'clock. Okay, well, Otis, what's your definition of a child? Well, 17 and under, I wouldn't even go that high. I would say 15 and under. Because 17, 18, I get it. But 15 and under, you should know where they're at. They should be in the house at 9 o'clock, unless you specifically know where they are at.
Right.
At 9 o'clock or after thereof.
Right.
Period. The end.
Right.
That's me. But anyway, I digress. That's that story. So basically, you mamas and your daddies, when you go home, remember when you were teenagers, go back to them days. Check under your fast ass daughter's beds. Check in the garage. Checking any vehicles that are not starting in the garage.
Right.
Because they probably up in there.
Right.
Let's be real. Been there, done that. You better check. For real.
Right.
I'm just being real.
Right.
Okay. Moving on to the next story. Oh my God. Hold on. Let me get to this next story. This next story, okay, is from Voice of the People as well. Okay. Now, this story here is very, very important to me, because our people, and just ladies in general, it doesn't have to even say our people, even though I am a self-preservation, I can't even say the word, self-preservationist first and foremost. You have to self-preserve. That's just first and foremost, period.
Right.
But this goes across all nationalities and all that. This next story. And a lot of people don't even know about this story.
Yes,
they have no idea.
No.
Don't jump the gun yet. But I'm glad you said the name. Let's go there. Again, this story can be found on Voice of the People News, Voice of the People _news, VOTP, Instagram. Now, I'm not gonna even lie. I'm gonna keep it real. I learned about this story by watching this. I got it from Voice of the People. So let's read it together. This is a true story, and once women realize this story, and I'm hopefully I'm going to bring light to the people of this story, they will have a whole new outlook of how they view themselves. And I'm going to butcher some names in here and words, because I do have dyslexia and I do stutter. So if you want to get the full story without any interruption and your full understanding and enunciation of words, please go to VOTP _news. But let's go. The exploitation of Sarah Baartman. Sarah, I can't even pronounce her middle name. God forgive me. Sarah Baartman was cruelly exploited in Europe by being exhibited. Thank you. This damn stuttering shit, as a freak show attraction because of her protruding butt. Wow. Yeah. After her death, her body was displayed in a Paris museum for over 100 years.
Wow.
Sarah Baartman of the Khoi people of South Africa was born in 1789 and was one of 2 women put on display as a freak show act in England and then later France.
Wow.
The men who promised her a life of pride in sharing her culture with the world tricked her and thought she was given pay. She often was at the expense of verbal, sexual, and physical abuse. Nude photos of Khoi women were I can't even say that word, and collected by white colonists. I can't is the accumulation of large amounts of, okay, that's serious. That word is a accumulation of large amounts of fat of the buttocks, especially as a normal condition in the Khoi of Southern Africa. So that situation, that condition, that's part of, and it's commonly a condition of the Khoi people in South Africa, having they basically just thick and having the oversized butt.
Yes, they just thick.
Got you. She was made to wear a colored skin tight outfit, revealing that was to be a naked black woman for the pain for the paying public in. I can't even read it today.
To inspect.
She was made to wear a colored skin tight outfit, revealing what was to be a naked black woman for the paying public to expect, view, and allegedly at times for extra coin, have a private showing. You know what that means by having a private showing. Mm-hmm. When sold to another manager, she was taken to France, where she was forced to perform and provide private parties to in homes of the most affluent and wealthy, with the final act being an invitation to the party attendees to approach, touch, feel, and inspect a laid down Sarah's genitals. That's she was to be later handed off to medical professionals who drew the details of her body. She died penniless from disease in Paris as a sex slave in 1815. Her body had a molded cast made, her brain and pelvic bone put in preserving jars, with her flesh and corpse being discarded. Her remains were finally reclaimed by South Africa and was given a ceremonial burial in 2002, 187 years later after her death. Sarah never saw her homeland again, only parts of her body in death. Wow. Again, I apologize for the butchering of that reading. I don't know what my situation is today, but I do apologize. I can't read, but I'm just having one of them days. But by all means, go back and read this story through its entirety, get your own understanding of it. But I'm not going to go deep in there. I'm not going to get deep into it, but this is just my opinion. This is just my commentary. We have women out here who are butchering themselves, trying their best to add body parts or to make to enhance their body parts that were not God given to them. And if they knew and understood the history. And understood the history of what's going on and what has taken place. Wow.
Right.
That's, But by all means, go to VOTP _news on Instagram to read that story in its entirety. Because like I said, I definitely butchered that story through its entirety. So, but I do apologize for that. But there it is. Take your time. We are going to this next story. This next story is troubling. And honestly, it deserves more time than we're going to give it. I would love to have a panel on this, because the more people see what we're about to discuss right now, the more of an outrage, or probably, I'm going to say outrage, that's the wrong word. That's a trigger word. The more people see this video, the more conversation will have to have taken place about what we're going to see, because I have mixed emotions about it.
Right.
I really do. I have very mixed emotions about what we're about to see. So without further ado, let's go into this video of what we're about to see, and we will discuss it briefly.
Okay.
Briefly.
Yeah.
After we see it, because this deserves a whole podcast in itself with a whole panel.
Okay.
But let's just see this.
All right.
Okay. Hold on.
You are a child.
We're gonna have to start this over at the beginning. Hold on.
Fuck down. Who do you think you are?
No, if that was me, I swear to God.
In my classroom, and you think yourself, stop instigating. Do you hear me? Over here, running around my classroom, cussing at a girl, trying to fight her. That's what your family does. The minute your family put their hands on women, your dad beat your mom. He started. No, she didn't. She was sitting next to me. She literally shut your mouth. What the? How old are you? 11. 11. Say it again. I'm 11. 11 years old. You are a child. Fuck down. Who do
You wanna
think
watch
you
one
are?
more
No, if that was me, I swear to God.
In my classroom, and you think yourself, stop instigating. Do you hear me? Over here, running around my classroom, cussing at a girl, trying to fight her. That's what your family does. The minute your family put their hands on women, your dad beat your mom. He started. No, she didn't. She was sitting next to me. She literally shut your mouth. What the? How old are you? 11. 11. Say it again. I'm 11. 11 years old. You are a child.
Now.
Who do you think you are?
Now, we both saw that.
Yeah.
We saw it.
Yeah.
We both saw that. There's so much to unpack in that. I don't know how you feel about that, because this is our first time seeing this together.
Yeah.
And actually, this is your first time seeing it, period?
Exactly.
This is your first time seeing it. This is my fifth time.
Okay.
I've had time to digest it. For the record, let me give you my brief background. I have one child.
Okay.
She's 27.
Right.
I'm not in this situation, and I thank God that I'm not in this situation. So I feel sorry, and I understand the parents who are in this situation as of now. But what I'm about to say perhaps is going to piss some people off, but I'm going to say it. And there is always an exception to the rule, always. So understand what I'm saying. I personally don't feel that she did anything wrong. Yes, the verbiage, okay, and also too, the grabbing, okay. I get it, the grabbing. That was probably when he was. But let's keep it real. These kids in these schools these days, man, we've all seen it. Not all kids, I'm not saying that, not all kids. But we know the reality of the situation. I'm going to say it. A lot of these parents are sending these kids to school just as a daycare facility. And they have no discipline at home. And we see it in the streets every day. I see it every day. Exactly. And you send your kids to school, and now this teacher has not only have to teach them the arithmetic and the reading and the social studies, now she has to try to be their parent and try to discipline them at the same time, which the kids aren't going for it. They have no respect. It's gone. Zero. Now, do I agree with everything that she did? No, I don't. But I'm being real about it. I'm not looking at the initial occurrence. I'm looking at the abundance, the buildup. How long that she has been putting up with this, period. Now, also too, I know she's not lying. And you could tell how intelligent he was. And you could tell how he did straighten up when she got stern with him. If you're being polite and being politically correct these days, they're going to run over you. The video shows that. But when you raise that voice and show discernment without the touching, I disagree with the touching part. That's questionable. But show discernment, you saw how he cowered. You saw how he showed that respect. That's what you want. And I'm sorry, at that age, growing up, we're going to learn the difference between fearing someone and respecting someone. At some point, that fear, of course, translates and transforms into respect. But starting off, yes, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, fear me until you learn the difference. But until then, fear me. You're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to disrespect the young lady. So I get everything she was saying. The handling of it, questionable. Questionable.
But I mean, she asked the right question.
Yeah. And she asked the right question. And what question was that? Talk to me.
Did your parents teach you to hit on girls?
Hey, I heard that too. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't tripping. She did bring that point up. She did bring that point up. You know, and you got the kids. And that's another thing too, the kids in the background. Did you hear the girl say, I wish that was me, or that couldn't have been me? Well, but you have done, young lady. I mean, just the fact that you had the gall to say that.
Right. And y'all shocked that she cussed.
Right. Because these kids are very aware of what's going on. They know the now new laws and rules that's politically correct. Right. They know that they can't get yelled at, and they know. They know. They know how to play the system. Don't get it twisted. They know.
But the parents are sending these kids to school without any discipline.
None whatsoever.
They expect the school to teach them what discipline is supposed to be. Supposed to learn that from the house.
Hey, listen. Again, I just wanted to share these stories with you. Again, that's a whole nother podcast that I would love. Actually, if you don't mind, leave a comment. If you would like to be a part of that panel, I want to set that up. No joke. And part of the requirements would be, of course, you have to have a child, obviously, and we'll just go from there. I'll pick the location, but I want to have a panel. I really want to do this. I want to have this discussion. I really do. Because this is just crazy to me. But yeah, with that being said, hey, this was definitely short and sweet, less than a half an hour. Again, I apologize for the butchering of that one story. I apologize for the technical difficulties I was having in the beginning. It's going to get better. That's what you get with the live show, though. I do apologize for that. But with that being said, please don't forget to comment, subscribe to the channel, and hit the like button if you indeed liked the show. And until next time, I will be back with another show and more news. And if you have any suggestions of topics or anything that you'd like for me to discuss or just bring to my attention, please leave a comment below or also email me at OtisWho, the number 1, at gmail.com. Again, that's OtisWho at the number 1 at gmail.com. And until then, have a nice day.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.